What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rolling the Bottom podcast. I'm your host, Zach Moyer. Hope you're doing well whenever you're listening to this one. We're live at Martinsville. Racing wrapped up not too long ago, a couple hours ago. Great weekend of racing. Great to be here. Haulers are leaving. People cleaning up confetti. Old tires, new tires, man. It's just great to be here. Great to be in this atmosphere, guys. But let's get right into it. We'll see how long this podcast goes. Don't want to make it too long because I got things to go. I got to leave. I got to try to get home or something. 6 hours of driving. We'll see how that goes. Chase Elliott wins the NASCAR Cup Series race at Martinsville. This is his first win this season. This is the earliest he's ever won in a season in the NASCAR Cup Series. Before it was race 8. This time, the earliest is race 7. I'm not sure it's that big of a stat. I guess it's still cool. It is a big deal, I guess, right? Earlier in the year. But this entire race was won by strategy by Alan Gustafson, calling Chase Elliott down with 138 laps to go. And then Chase Elliott pits. And then the leader, Denny Hamlin, didn't pit until 30 laps later. So then Elliott actually takes the lead through pit cycles. A couple of other cars actually pitted pretty soon after him. Like, Elliott made other cars pit too. The strategy was, do you do one stop in stage 3 or do you do 2 stops in stage 3? There was a lot that could have played out, but Elliott went with the first person to pit. He gets in the lead, like I say. Hamlin actually passed Chase Elliott with 92 laps to go because Hamlin was on newer tires and he was the best car, most dominant car in this race. But then we get a caution with 89 laps to go. Elliott is now second. I think Elliott was outside the top 10 when he pitted. So now he went from outside the top 10 to now second place. And then we pit. Ross Chastain chose to stay out. Elliott came out second on pit road. Hamlin was the leader when they left pit road. We restart, and we have a massive crash on that first lap of the restart with Carson Hocevar, Bubba Wallace. And I believe at that time is when then Elliott was ahead of Hamlin at the time of caution. So that gave Elliott second place. Hamlin was third. And then went with, after a restart, was 67 laps to go. And then 9 past the 1 for the lead. And then boom. That was the race-winning move for Chase Elliott when he passed Ross Chastain. And then those last 67 laps, Elliott ended up passing Ross Chastain. And then he got close to Elliott, but with how hard it is to pass, the drivers were saying, and tires didn't make a difference. And he says dirty air was a big factor, Hamlin said. And the lap traffic, I mean, the only time Hamlin got close was when Elliott passed the car, but then, or when Elliott was held up by traffic. But then he had to do the same thing. He had to deal with the same stuff, man. So really, to make it sweet and short, Chase Elliott won this race because of the strategy decisions by Alan Gustafson. And Alan Gustafson has gotten so much hate on social media. Chase Elliott fans, I know that Alan's made some calls that have hurt Chase, maybe where he went to finish. Maybe it was a strategy car that lost Chase Elliott in the race. But today, Alan Gustafson showed that he is one of the best crew chiefs in the garage. So Chase Elliott fans should be thanking Alan Gustafson for trying this bold strategy. It's early in the season, right? If he's in the chase, dude, does he try this, right? It's early in this season. Alan wanted to be aggressive, and it paid off. Of course, then had to have some of that luck in there, because with that brake rotor, the brake rotor was actually on pit road. It wasn't on the racetrack. The brake rotor was caused by, I believe, the 10 car of Ty Dillon. But it's just insane how these races, like the first 2 stages, guys. I thought, Hamlin, he's the most dominant car. This is, I didn't really see there was not much action on track. Like Hamlin's was going to dominate this race. But then boom, that one, the strategy call, and then the caution, and then boom, and then we had that big wreck there with Carson Hocevar and Bubba Wallace. We'll talk about that. Hamlin actually made contact with Ryan Blaney. There was just so much at the end of this race. And it all started with that one caution that you had in stage 3, just for a blown brake rotor that was caused. I mean, that wasn't even on the racetrack. It was on pit road, man. It is wild. Now we talk about this race, guys, after talking about their winner. The first stage, It was dominated, well, both the first two stages were dominated by Denny Hamlin. Some of the key moments from stage one was when Hamlin actually got passed by William Byron, who was second on lap 39, but then a couple laps later, lap 44, Hamlin passed the 24 back. Briscoe went a lap down. That was big. We had like one caution. The 51 got spun. That was the stage. That was the stage end there. Hamlin pitted. Pit stops. Hamlin won the race off pit road to start stage two. Kyle Busch had an uncontrolled tire. It looked like he just full blown ran over the tire. Like he saw, I think the tire. Fox was saying that the tire. Busch could have saw the tire, but just chose to run through it. I'm not exactly sure that's true. It was kind of dominated, as like I said, stage two was dominated by Denny Hamlin. And then our key moment in stage two, though, was we had a caution there. The 4 got spun on lap 104 Haas on my notes. Larson chose to pit there. We were only like 9 laps into the stage two. Trying a strategy. We ended up seeing Larson's strategy. That strategy, it was only 9 laps difference, but it did help Larson. He did pit. He did gain some spots. I said pit there. I meant gain. He actually passed some cars. I'm not sure where he ended up. But that was a big moment. Hamlin won stage two. Nothing much else from there. To start stage three, when it came to pit stops, the first pit stops of the day after the stage two checkered, William Byron lost 7 spots in pit road, and Tyler Reddick lost 6 spots in pit road. Restart, Hamlin takes the lead on lap 193, and then that's where we had the pit stop cycle that we talked about. When it came, that's how the strategy did start for Chase Elliott, where he pitted on lap 261, which I believe was 138 laps before, or 138 laps to go. Gosh. And then the 97 pitted after him on lap 269. The 5 pits on lap 282. On lap 283, the 22 to 24. The 45 pit on lap 284. The 20 to 60 pit, the lap 288, the 54 pit, lap 290, 11 pits, lap 291, the 12 pits. Gosh, I'm all over the place, but that was just on my notes. Just reading what my notes say. And then, Elliott second to the lead because of all this happening. But then Hamlin was like the last one to pit. Well, actually, he was a lap before Blaney pitted. So Hamlin actually pitted 29 laps after Elliott, not 30, like I said at the start. But then with 92 laps to go, 11, best car all day, newer tires, passes Elliott for the lead. Elliott falls into second, and then we get our caution with 89 laps to go because of a brake rotor that exploded. And I guess the brake rotor was on pit road. It was for the number 10 car, Ty Dillon. I know Ryan Blaney he thought it was hilarious that NASCAR threw a caution for a brake rotor on pit road. I guess there's a rule that NASCAR, officials or members can't go and pick it up on pit road. I don't know the exact rules. I don't think there should be some conspiracy theory that NASCAR wanted to throw it to create drama. I think that was just that they had a rule, and you don't know the car's coming down pit road. I mean, I'll tell you guys one thing. We were trying to follow Bubba Wallace around, and I mean, one of the front stretch guys almost got hit by Zane Smith. Zane Smith came in, holy crap. And Jeff Luck, guy who's really popular, he writes for The Athletic, told him, hey. I mean, it was super loud, but he was coming. I mean, it was crazy. That was quite an experience. But now, back to the race, right? So we had that caution in the brake rotor. There's pit stops. The only guy that stayed out was the one car, and he took the lead. Hamlin won the race off pit road. Then Chase Elliott came out second on pit road. He was going to restart third. That caution right there. Chase Elliott outside the top 10, now top 3. And then we have a massive, massive crash. It was 75 laps to go. It was on this restart, right? And it looked like Carson Hocevar put Bubba Wallace 3 wide here in turn 1 where I'm at right now. And then Hocevar clears Bubba. And I guess Bubba did not like it. It was right off the restart. I mean, he dive bombs here. He dive bombs down in turn 1 and clears Bubba. And then Bubba, he actually said he just misjudged the 77. It was nothing intentional, he said. Because then he just kind of ran into the back of the 77 and keep droving. And he turned the 77 and kept driving into him. But there was the audio and it didn't seem like Bubba was on the gas too much after he hitting the 77. So I don't know. I mean, of course he was mad, but there didn't seem like there was. He just said he misjudged. So I don't know. I don't know if the anger from 77 dive bombing him in turn 1 was why he ran in the back of the 77 so aggressively. But then that was a massive, massive pileup. The 23, the 77, the 38, the 3, the 7, the 17, the 33, the 35, the 42, the 43, the 71, the 88. They were all involved. The 88 of Zilch took a big impact. The 23 as well. It was a massive, massive pileup. Those tend to happen here because the straightaways are so narrow. If there's two cars that spin out in front of you, and there's really nowhere to go unless, besides running into them. So there were some big impacts there. A couple of cars got taken out there. I think it was 35. The 88 was a notable one. And then, of course, the 23 of Wallace was. And then during that time, we were trying to get to Wallace. He was in his car for a little bit. And then he got out. And then he ran to the info care center, got checked. He did his TV interview and then his radio interview. But then he never really stopped for us. It was super loud. He was probably upset. I don't know. I think Gluck was the only one that really yelled and said anything to him. He just said he just misjudged. Which he ended up saying that in his interviews. And with 67 laps to go, the 9 passed the 1 for the lead. And at that same time, the 11 car straight just drove the 12 car up into the wall in turn 4. It was a massive impact for the 12. He actually lost multiple spots. Like his whole momentum got killed. And Hamlin said he hasn't seen the replay, so he didn't comment on it. And the 12 of Blaney said, I don't feel like I got pinched. I feel like I just got driven into the fence. Blaney should be upset because, it looks very egregious. But, they're racing hard, and that's just what happens. I'll be interested to hear what Hamlin says about it. He'll probably, I don't know what he'll say, but it'll definitely be interesting to see what he says about that. And then, like we talked about, Hamlin was trying to pass Elliott, but he just, like you said, he would get close because of lap traffic, but then Elliott passes the car, and Hamlin has to do the same thing. And the best car all day, couldn't pass when it mattered most. And it just, I was hearing drivers saying that the increase of horsepower actually maybe made the passing a little bit more difficult, which is weird. I know the temperatures were cooler, the tires wore, but they must not have made that big of an impact. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know. I just found it very interesting that you would think with more horsepower, that would, accelerate. You have to, use more brake, and you have to be better on your tires. With the more horsepower and getting on the gas, you could spin the tires more easily because there's more power in the car. I would think that would all make passing more easier, but it sounded like it was way harder than years past. So yeah, it stinks, but I do think, I enjoyed it. It was intriguing. It sounded like fans on social media really enjoyed the race too. So that's all. I think it was all positives. And then for Chase Elliott to win the race, dude, anytime Chase Elliott can get a win, anytime your most popular driver wins a race, it's going to be good for NASCAR, good publicity for NASCAR. I think NASCAR right now is doing really well. All the stuff that comes out about Michael Jordan is good. I think there's a really good, positive outlook on the sport. I thought today's crowd at Martinsville was one of the better crowds for a spring event. It was really, really good. I sat out here in the press box for it. The crowd looked really, really good. It felt like it was maybe a little bit smaller than the fall one, maybe a little bit smaller, but really, really good. The weather was solid. It was mid-50s and sunny. Let's talk about our finishers. Hopefully I don't spend too much time on this. I don't know how long we're going to be here. But Chase Elliott wins. He led 84 laps. Denny Hamlin was second. He led the most laps. He led 292 laps, man. Just, you hate it for him. This is the one that definitely got away. And I don't know if there's anything he could have done differently. I was wondering if the damage with Blaney there when he made contact had an input. He didn't say much about it. I don't know. It's just the strategy. You just gotta tip your cap to the 9 car. The strategy just worked out perfectly for them. But definitely, I think this is definitely gonna eat Denny a little bit because it's, man, you were the best car and you didn't win the race. Third, Joey Logano, great run for him. Ty Gibbs, another top 5, consistency. Willie Byron, fifth, top 5. Ryan Blaney, after the contact with Denny Hamlin that we talked about, still comes home and finishes 6th there, so the damage didn't hurt him that much. Christopher Bell, 7th. 8th, Austin Cindric, so all 3 Penske cars in the top 10. 9th, Kyle Larson that we talked about. He was the one that they had a little strategy there in stage 2, and look, he comes home with another top 10, man. the thing about Larson is I really, like, Larson hasn't won since May of last year. And I'm like, man, I feel like that's a bad thing. Like, we should be talking about that. But also, man, he's so consistent that, like, now look, if he's going to want to win a championship, those points you get for winning races, it's 15 extra points than years past. He's going to need to win those races. But he's still, Cliff Daniels and Larson, their still consistency is through the roof. But it's still, they're coming on, man. Coming on to a year without winning, man. They'll have this month and then a couple of weeks of May before they be a year without winning a race. We'll see if we can get a win. Bristol is the next race in the season for them. I think, watch out for Larson there. Barry was 10th. Shane Van Gisbergen finishes 11th. Wow, what a finish. He was a little bit upset, though. He couldn't get top 10, but you got to tip your cap to Shane, man. He qualified 5th. Getting better than his ovals. I know they say that these type of short tracks fare better for road course guys because of the braking. Now, Shane doesn't really feel like that because the turn is way different than a turn you make in a road course. But that is just, you got to feel good for Shane. That's got to feel good for him. For him. Ryan Preece is 12th. Branislawski is 13th. 14th, Chase Briscoe was a lap down in stage 1. Still comes home with the top 15. Gotta feel good for him. Let's keep Rennick, 15th. Ross Chastain, 16th. Hocevar, 17th, after getting spun out by Bubba Wallace. Anyone notable? I just want to focus on the noticeable ones. The 22nd was Justin Allgaier. Kyle Busch was 24th. Austin Dillon was 25th. And then, Austin Hill was 33rd. I saw a stat for RCR for the first time. I'm going to make sure. Hopefully I might have not put it in there. Oh, yeah, here it is. For the first time in RCR Racing's history, the team has failed to score a top 10 finish in the first 7 races of the NASCAR Cup Series season. This is also ties the second longest stretch of consecutive Cup Series races without a top 10 finish in the team's history. RCR is slow. All 3 cars are, their 2 full-time cars, of course, are slow. They had an open car with Austin Hill. They're just slow. They have no speed. And the thing is, man, I was hearing stuff from Denny where, like, Denny was saying, like, if you're a good enough driver, you should be able to take a 30th place car and make it a 25th place car, right? But Kyle Busch isn't doing that. And we keep wondering, is it Kyle Busch? Is it the car? We still believe that Kyle Busch has that ability to drive a race car at the highest level and be successful. But he's not. I mean, of course, RCR, their cars are not, he's not getting what he needs, but you would think he could do a little bit better. But I know he's said many, many times that this car does not fit his driving style. And yeah, I couldn't imagine what he's going through, man. A lot of people were saying that if this was 10 years ago, Kyle Busch probably would have quit on the team and just been done. But I think now he has kids. He wants to set a big example of, I'm not to quit on your team, because that wouldn't set a good example for your son. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't imagine what's going through for him. That's really it. We came to notable guys. The rest of the guys after that were all involving wrecks. So Rennick is first in points. Blaney is 82 points back from second. Hamlin is third with 94 points back from Rennick. Elliott is fourth, 104 points back, and Byron is fifth, 115 points back. Ty Gibbs is 131 points back in sixth. That's good for him. Consistency, man. Christopher Bell, 7th, 141 points back from Rennick. Branislawski's 8th, only 147 points back. Larson's 9th in the points, 147 points as well. Holy crap. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4. We have a 4-car tie for 8th. Wow. Holy crap. Man. Bubba Wallace. Holy crap, guys. I just realized this. I think Bubba Wallace, I believe, was second, or he was second in the points 2 weeks ago, and now he's 11th. Holy crap. Wow. That is crazy. And I think the reason he lost all those points was because of this one wreck down here in turn 3 and 4. Wallace just, I still believe he was mad at the 77, but he said he misjudged it. He wasn't trying to do anything intentional. Man, that was a massive point swing for Wallace. A massive point swing. Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez currently is 16th spot, and he has the 16th position, which is the 5th spot in the chase, over his teammate by 11 points. Don't get too far in that. We'll talk about it probably in a near episode, get a little more in detail with the points. I just don't want to spend too much time on it because it's late. Overall, guys, this race, I mean, from the eye test, I felt like the first 2 stages weren't that good. There was just an intriguing, maybe because I was too focused on the leader. But the watching these cars in lap traffic trying to maneuver and watching these cars dive bomb in turn 1 was so spectacular. I was up there in the suite, not the suite, I guess it's a suite, the press box, and then just watch these guys like dive bomb in turn 1 and they make contact. It was some of the most entertaining stuff ever. That's the one thing when you're at home, the TV is not showing the back of the pack, but watching it live in a small track, man, you see everything, man. It was really good stuff. Tire wear, there was one clip I saw where Denny Hamlin had like this massive chunk of rubber like in his wheel well. It was insane. And the cars were dirty. There's chunks of rubber out here. I'll have to go find some. I'll probably have a video about rubber. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. But yeah, I'll give this race. It was also you gotta put in the fact that it was a good winner, a fan favorite, of course. The most popular driver wins. That's always a good thing. So I'm gonna give this one a 7.2. It was good. I guess I think I'm a little bit disappointed because I guess I expected more with the horsepower, the tires. I thought that was gonna make this racing like really something unique. So that's probably why I'm a little, I guess, upset and maybe not as like hyped up about this racing. And especially with some of the drivers saying that it was harder to pass with the 750 horsepower than when it was to the 670. I was just kind of disappointed. But yeah, that's the Cup Series. I'll have to do a lot of editing though because there's a lot of clips I gotta cut out. Holy crap. All right, we're back. Talking about the Ryan Series. I had to move my camera because there was a hauler coming through here. So I don't know how much more time I have left here. Justin Allgaier won the Ryan Series race. Let me see here. He led 114 laps in the 250 laps, but Lee Pullman's the guy I want to talk about. Led 40 laps in this race. They had an uncontrolled tire, so he lost some track position. They had a strategy where it got him out front on older tires. Battled hard with Justin Allgaier. He ended up finishing 5th. Now, he did make a massive mistake where he missed a shift and had a massive pileup, destroyed a bunch of cars. It was a red flag. But I think Dale told him not to beat himself up over that and to enjoy what he did because Dale was saying he doesn't know if Lee Pullman's going to get another opportunity to race in this series. Lee Pullman is 37 years old, has a lot of success in the late model ranks, Cars Tour. I think he's won the Valley Star 300, which is here. Just a blue-collar guy, and Dale gave him this opportunity, and I think Lee Pullman made the most of it. Really, if he gets another opportunity, it's going to be based off if he gets some funding, because that was what Dale was saying, funding. It's hard to put these opportunities together because you need sponsorship to pay for it. But that was awesome. The fan was so passionate for Lee. They sold out. I think they sold out on his merch. They said. So that really cool story, man. Really freaking cool story for Lee Pullman. Let's look at our top 15. First, Justin Allgaier. Second, Corey Day. Third, Sammy Smith. Fourth, Sheldon Creed. Fifth, Lee Pullman. Sixth, Austin Hill. Seventh, Dean Thompson. Eighth, Ross Chastain. Ninth, Ryan Sieg. 10th, Brent Cruz. 11th, Parker Etzlaff. 12th, Jesse Love. 13th, Tanner Gray. 14th, Brendan Poole. And 15th, Anthony Alfredo. The other thing we got to talk about is the incident between Jesse Love and Rod Chakaruth. I believe Jesse Love, he got spun by Rod Chakaruth. I think because Rod was mad about what Jesse did. I didn't rewatch a replay, but they had a really lengthy face-to-face conversation in the garage. It was very respectable. There was that one clip where Danny stopped them Danny Stockman got in the face of Rajah Caruth. And then like I saw that Jesse was trying to put his hand like tell Stockman chill out, because Danny is a big, hard-nosed crew chief. He's very successful. He just won a championship, but I don't think Jesse was never trying to make it too physical or too intense. He just wanted to. They just had a really good, clean conversation, and they were able to walk away without anyone throwing a punch and getting physical. And of course, for entertainment-wise, that's not great. But I think for maturity-wise, for both drivers, that's how it should be handled. Because fighting doesn't really lead into anything. Talking it out and seeing each other's point of views, I think in just life in general. And when you're able to just chill out and both hear each other out about whatever issue, I think things get so much more solved instead of just ignoring someone, talking over someone, arguing over them. Because it's easy to want to throw a little dig at someone and call them something. But they had a really good conversation, man. Yeah, so overall the race was really, really good. Overall, guys, this podcast is kind of all over the place because, I couldn't tell you how many times I had to like restart and re-say a sentence. It's going to be a long time editing. But this is really cool, guys, being here. If it wasn't for you following me, liking my content, also got a shout out to my parents, because if it wasn't for my parents willing and letting me stay at home and not have to pay bills for housing and water bill and food bill and all that stuff and a nice warm bed, I wouldn't really get to spend money on going to races. So shout out to my parents, most importantly, but shout out to you guys, because you're the ones that give me the following for NASCAR to say, yep, this guy is worthy of a credential. So it means the absolute world. Hope you enjoyed the content. Let's go with me. My next race will be at Rockingham Speedway. I'm going to be a fan. I wasn't approved for a credential, which is fine. But I'm going to be a fan because I got free tickets. The Track Enterprises said they're going to give me free tickets for both races and a free camping pass for Rockingham next weekend, so I get to be a fan. Easter weekend should be going well. Like I always say, thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great weekend. Goodbye.